Senator Roberts, you have the call. Thank you for being patient.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you all for attending. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear fine, thanks.
Yep.
Thank you. Could you please confirm that Services Australia is developing an Australian vaccine passport? Or if it's not, then who is, please? Who's got authority over it?
Senator, as I said in my sort of opening answer to Senator Gallagher, we are not, there is not a vaccine passport being developed or delivered by Services Australia.
Is there one being developed by the Australian government?
There is not a vaccine. So, Senator, as I said in my opening comments, a passport is a permission to leave a border. There isn't any role for us to create a vaccine passport. We are doing two things. As I've said, we support Australian citizens by holding their immunisation records and making those immunisation records available to them in a range of different formats that we've discussed. One of those formats, in collaboration with other relevant agencies, Home Affairs, who manage the border, and Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, who have the Passport Office, we have will provide collectively a version of someone's immunisation record called the Visible Digital Seal, which is set on what's called an ICAO standard that an Australian citizen will need when they choose to cross a border with their normal passport to go overseas. So we were supporting them with the necessary record of immunisation to support international travel, but it is not a vaccine passport and there is no domestic vaccine passport.
So will the state governments be able to use this device as a vaccine passport? Or will what you're working on, will it enable the state governments and various retailers, businesses to use this as a vaccine passport?
So, as Mr. McCarty has described, we are enabling citizens to consent to provide their immunisation record to a state for integration in the check-in app, and how that check-in app is used and what is required for citizens in certain states is set by the state against their health orders. So, so other than enabling a citizen to consent to take their immunisation record and make it available to a state check-in app, that is all that we are doing.
So you're enabling the states then to coerce the mandating of vaccine? Because the states are in fact coercing the citizens right now.
Senator, we are assisting an Australian citizen to consent to move their immunisation record to a state-based app if they choose to, and the state is setting those public health orders, as is the legal arrangements for the state. I can't comment any further.
So you're aware then of the federal constitution, the Australian constitution, that says we cannot, at a federal level, mandate medications, and that includes vaccines. You're aware of that?
Senator, I think the vaccine is voluntary. No one is required to have a vaccine.
When someone has a choice between feeding their kids as a result of keeping in work, and getting a vaccination, or not feeding their kids because they use a vaccination, that is coercion, that is mass vaccination.
Senator Roberts, have you got a question there?
Yes, yes. Is the federal government and is Services Australia aware of Section 51 of the Constitution, Clause 23, capital A, that the Australian Constitution does not provide and actually prevents the Australian government enabling compulsory medication to be applied?
Senator Roberts, I think Ms Skinner answered that. question earlier. Perhaps
Okay,
not
then
to your
Ms. Gunn.
satisfaction, Senator Roberts, but she did address an answer to that direct question.
Yes, I'm reminded, Chair, of the stealing of farmers' property rights back in 1996 by going around the Constitution and going directly to the states, and the states being bribed to do that by a Liberal National Party government in 1996 through to 1998, through to 2017. This looks the same. Under whose direction or instruction is this software being developed? Is it the Cabinet? Is it the Prime Minister? Is it the Health Minister? Is it the Minister for Services Australia?
Senator, Services Australia received funding for a range of measures to do with supporting the rollout and recording of COVID vaccinations and, in fact, influenza vaccinations as part of the normal financial arrangements of government. So we received our authority through that process, and we have funding that enables us to do both the technical work, the support to providers, the support to hubs, and the service delivery requirements around people needing to ring us and other things related to their vaccinations.
Could you please explain again where the source of the Commonwealth funds and the authority to be spent on development of this measure that is going to be used effectively by the states as a vaccine passport?
Senator, I'm just getting the actual budget measure. Mr. Howard is looking through his folder. Here we go. You answer it. Mr. Howard will answer that question, Senator.
Senator, so we were funded under the COVID-19 response package vaccination and treatment, where the department was given $35.198 million in 2021 for a number of measures, and $4.2 million in 21-22. And those measures included increasing performance and system capacity for the Australian Immunisation Register, the ability to add new COVID-19 vaccinations to the register as advised by the Department of Health, enhancements to vaccination provider lodgement channels, enhanced data feed to the Department of Health, the creation of COVID-19 digital certificate, and increased channel availability for individuals to obtain a copy of their proof of vaccination via the Medicare online accounts, the Medicare Express Plus app, individual healthcare identifier services via MyGov for non-Medicare eligible individuals, and for the My Health Record via MyGov.
So what is the date of that authorisation, please? Is it part of the latest budget?
So it would have been in the PBS. Is the table that I'm looking at here, Senator, for 2021.
2021 budget. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Who will be administrating and updating this device that enables the states to apply Australian vaccination passport?
I think, Senator, we've explained there is no vaccination passport, there's no device.
I understand that quite clearly from you, that's your perception, but it'll be used by the states and by some employers as a way of mandating vaccinations. Who will be administrating and updating this tool?
Well, we manage the Australian Immunisation Register. So if, for example, additional vaccines were added, we would be doing that if Australian citizens had those. So we've recently, for example, added the Moderna vaccination. That means that the Medicare Express Plus app will issue a certificate for you now if you've had a Moderna vaccination, either two or a combination of Moderna and something else. So we maintain all of the business infrastructure and the security and support for the immunisation register. The states and territories, as you would understand, they maintain their management of those check-in apps.
Thank you. If the vaccination that's going on in this country is being mandated by the states, despite the Prime Minister himself saying that it would be pushed by the federal government a month or so ago, if the vaccination is being mandated by the states, how do you or any other Australian government body have the authority to develop, maintain and distribute this private data for that purpose by the states?
Senator, I think I've explained a few times now, the citizen consent on the citizen to use their data for whatever purpose that they see fit. It is their data. We allow them to consent to move that digitally.
Thank you. Chair, I just want to put on record that I'm very concerned that the vaccine passport, as it's called, is going to be used by the state governments to coerce people into vaccination. And it actually withholds services from taxpayers. And isn't the
Okay, thank you, Senator Roberts. We don't really use the committee as a platform for speeches. You have plenty of available avenues to do that kind of thing, and I think we've picked up your views on how this information is going to be used. Can I